Well, we talked about it in the beginning, what a stressful time it is. It is such a stressful time that we're expected to do all of these changes, to make these changes in our life that we don't like to make. Looking out there at you all wearing masks, and anybody out there like wearing the mask they're wearing? Other than Mariah because of the face. Yeah, nobody. None of us do. I like to project a little more. I like to talk louder, but I've got the mic turned up as loud as it'll go, and I'm not talking loud because I don't want to put out those. Aerosols that I found out doesn't just come out of a can a couple months ago. We want to protect each other, and that's good. We're supposed to protect each other. Now, we also know that this mask doesn't protect me, it protects you. Now, I'm pretty far away from everybody. That's why we set the first row back so far, so that then I wouldn't have to wear the mask, so that you'd see my face during Mass. I'll put it on to distribute communion, and use hand sanitizer and those kind of things. But we have to protect each other, the common good. And we also should be, in realizing that it's to protect each other, we need to be prudent about the way we wear the mask. If we're having trouble breathing, well, pull it down at least over your nose. Try to breathe out breathing out through your nose isn't as bad, I understand, right? Nurse Becky, right? So, or breathing out in, if you need to, through the mask, in through the nose, out through the mouth, so that we're protecting ourselves too. Now, Holy Trinity Sunday, what a wonderful, wonderful gift for all of us, and that's one of the ones where you tell another priest or an older seminarian, I got my Trinity class this year, and they'll almost invariably say, well, don't sweat it, you're never going to understand it. So just do your best, do what the professor wants, and keep praying about it. And of course, it's something of a joke, but it's not really a joke, is it? Anybody here truly understand the Trinity? I'll have you come and talk to me after Mass and explain it to me. Probably end up me explaining to you how you don't truly understand it. But the Trinity is this incredible divine gift given to us. Now, there was another thing that I love, because the common good. It's also something of a difficult concept to grasp, although nowhere near as difficult as the Trinity, because we're used to taking care of ourselves, right? You care about your bank account a heck of a lot more than you care about mine, right? So, probably during my third Christian morality class that I took, it clicked for me really what the common good means. And that means the good for everybody. When it comes in, you go and you find, in my seminary, you've got guys that used to be in business, and you go and find one of them, and you say, well, for the common good, should you done this, And he says, well, whose common good are you talking about, yours or mine? And then you got it, right? Because it's like there's no such thing as your common good and my common good. There's no such thing as Mexico's common good and the United States' common good or China's common good. The common good means everybody. Now, we protect our borders for the common good, right? But we don't do it at the expense of the other country, or we're not supposed to, if we're going to follow Christian morality. Now, I had somebody last week who told me that she was a doctor from another town, we won't say where, and she was asking what time Mass was, and so I said, well, do you have a reservation. So then it was on. This isn't, not fair. She has an immune system. She's a doctor. She knows better. And I started to explain to her that there were doctors on our committee. I'm not surprised that she believes her opinion's better than those doctors. She said, it's not a question of the common good. And I'm kind of saying, And then she made a point that it can actually hurt your immune system to wear a mask. And I think this was I think it was something out of context for wearing. Certainly, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. So I didn't argue that point with her. But I said, we have to protect each other. And she says, no, I have to protect myself. Now, she was stepping into my classroom, right? And I said, that's not Christian morality. We are our brother's keeper. We have to take care of each other. That's not a choice. I mean, that's a choice, obviously, but it's not. It's a sinful choice to say that don't have to worry about taking care of somebody else. There should be no choice that we make in our lives where we don't consider how it will affect the common good. There's that whether it has to do with the way we spray poison on our lawn or whatever it is, we have to consider how it's going to affect the common good. And then sometimes it's pretty hard decisions to make, right? And that gets deeper into it. But that's what we're called to consider the good of each other, to consider the good of the people in our family, in our community, in our parish, in the world, in our country, the state, in the world. That's what we're called to. And so, brothers and sisters, where do we get the perfect example to live that community by? You know what this represents, I think? The Trinity. The Trinity is a community of love. 3 persons in one God. God is not some distant, scary being off somewhere in the sky. God is a community of love. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Father, the lover, the Son, the beloved, the Holy Spirit, the love that comes from that relationship. And so all of our human relationships should be a reflection of that. A reflection. And so that a marriage is a reflection of that. A family is a reflection of that. A parish is a reflection of that. Now, one thing we know about reflections, they're not as perfect as the real thing. So, there's, I'm sure, never been a marriage that was a perfect reflection of the Trinity. But we strive in our relationships. We strive for a celibate priest, the relationship with the parishioners, the relationship for a pastor, the relationship with his parishioners, for a chaplain, the relationship for the patients that he's chaplain to, or to the prisoners that he's chaplain to. It's relationship, and it's a beautiful thing, our relationships, especially when we strive in them to reflect God more perfectly. And so as we strive and strive and strive more and more, then we come, hopefully, brothers and sisters, to that day when we have done it well. Jesus, the second person, comes down and says, "Well done, my faithful brother or sister. Now join us," and we don't need to strive anymore. We don't need to be a reflection anymore. We will be part of it in heaven. Let us give thanks for that opportunity in our lives.